Hey guys, it's Gordy Boss. What's going on? I'm just on my Frost DK Willow Knight. I just thought I'd go through some things with you, like my add-ons, macros, talents, and glyphs. Since I have my glyphs open, I thought I'd go through this first. So for the major glyphs, for empowered rune weapon, I got the glyph of empowerment. I use this kind of for a last resort kind of thing, or if I'm just kind of lacking with my DPS rotation, just so I don't lose the heal. But yeah, like I said, I use it as kind of a last resort. But other than that, I use Icy Touch. You use it to dispel spellcasters and stuff like that, priests, locks. But the only thing with that is I find you have to double tap just because they get secondary buff with their shields. Oh, I know priests do, but locks I'm not entirely sure. Thirdly, I use Glyph of Regenerative Magic just in case I accidentally hit the button or I popped it too early. It's nice because if the shield doesn't deplete after the 5 seconds, then the cooldown is reduced by 50 seconds, and that's obviously a bonus. So it's really great to use against different spellcasters and even rogues with their poison, especially when they're opening up. Minor glyphs, I use Path of Frost, so I could fall from higher heights with taking no damage. Well, it depends on the height, but Glyph of Army of Dead. That way, if I pop Army of Dead, I'm not aggroing, especially if I am PvEing, doing raid bosses and stuff like that. Because you don't want to, if you're doing DPS, you don't want to get aggroed. So I got that, so they lose their taunt. And same thing with the Tranquil Grip. This way, if I'm trying to kite a monster off of the healer, just because the healer's getting hit hard and stuff like that, you grab that guy, but it won't aggro. Just in case if you are at a low health as well. So I find that's a good thing to use in PvE. I haven't really found anything that minor glyphs that really work for PvP, but this is just what I decided to use. I find it works really well. And we'll go to talents. So my first talent, I do Plague Leech. I do that for to reduce the cooldown of my DPS rotation. So whenever it's best to use that whenever you use 2 death runes, and yeah, it's just a good choice to use. Secondly, I use Lichborn. It's a great way to get out of fears, and I'm not sure if it stuns, but charm, fear, and sleep, and also increases leech. So if I ever need to spam my healing macro, it increases my healing, which is I feel is beneficial. Thirdly, I use Chillblains. I only use it because you can keep applying it if you use your frost attacks. You know, you can use Asphyxiate every half an hour or half a minute, but I find if you're dealing with somebody who's really good at kiting, I find that Chillblains works the best, just because you can constantly slow them. So even if they are kiting you, they're not kiting you too far like they would be as Asphyxiate. Oh, sorry, I should clarify on that, because if I use Asphyxiate and they, let's say they use their trinket to get out of it, and then they could just blink away, being a mage or whatever, and I find myself not doing as much damage to them with Asphyxiate, but also that's personal preference. Blood Tap I was using Runic Corruption, but after messing around with Blood Tap, I found that also macroing it on with the Frost Strike, it's a good DPS boost. It helps with the runic depletion. So if your runes are on cooldown, you just pop that baby. If the Plague Leech is already popped, and it works quite well. At least for me, it is. Also, I used Death Siphon. I used Death Siphon because I got a healing macro for survivability, and I find that it works best. Death Pack, it does heal you, but unless you're in blood presence, or sorry, if you're if your primary specialization is blood, I would find that the Death Pact works better there. But also, I find that even if you are blood, Death Siphon would work as well. I use Desecrated Ground just because I find that when I use Remorseless Winter, there's no attack bonus or anything like that. It is a slow, and it is a slow and turns into a CC if you stay on them long enough. But I find the problem is that if you can't stay on them long enough, if they are kiting you hard, it's not worth it, because and they kite you, you slow, they slow you, and it turns into a mess. So whenever they kite me, they slow me, stun me, or whatever, I like to use Desecrated Ground, or even use that in kind of fights where I'm getting slowed and getting attacked by a couple targets. And then lastly, I like to use Necrotic Plague. I use this bad boy because it really increases the DPS burst. Well, not the burst, sorry, but it does increase your DPS in general. Defile, I was using that. It does increase in AoE and does increase in damage by percentage, but I find that it doesn't do. It's not a high enough percentage to do that much as it would Necrotic Plague. Okay, so a couple add-ons I use. I have a ton of add-ons, as you can see, but if you're looking for something that helps, if you're not able to really kind of get that DPS rotation down, or if you're looking for something to kind of help you out just for even a little bit until you finally get comfortable enough without using it, I would go ahead and download Spell Flash, and then you'd have to go download Spell Flash DK as well. So you have to get the Spell Flash, and then you have to get the Spell Flash for each class. So that's what I like to use, and it looks like a prot, like you could see. Like, it's got, these are my secondaries that it tells me to use whenever I'm a fight, but when I am fighting, they'll be blinking white. Like, here's an example. You see how the flashing and stuff. So it tells you generally what's the better spell to cast for top DPS. I really don't need it anymore, but you know, it's just if I ever get in a tight spot where I'm not paying attention enough and I look down, it's always, I find it's just that little extra help that that is quite beneficial in the end. And then, yeah, like I said, yeah, I got a whole bunch of add-ons for different things, but that's just preference and stuff, not really for helping for DPS. And then also, lastly, I was going to do my macros. So I have a couple macros. I got one I got to work on. This one, I can't seem to get Outbreak to work with Obliterate, but that's alright. I got my DPS macro. It's got my Howling Blast and Plague Strike. It's also got Pillar Frost and Outbreak, and my my other trinket. So all three of those will pop as I'm spraying them with Howling Blast, and after I don't have enough runes for Frost Strike, or sorry, Howling Blast, then it just turns into Plague Strike. So I find that's pretty beneficial because it takes away a key. I'm having to extend my hand a little bit across the keyboard. It's not much, but it's a little bit help. It's a little bit of help, and you know, I'll take whatever help I can get, right? So that's my DPS one. If you guys want to take a look at it, try it out for yourselves. That's all right. I'm not going to come and find you. But so this is the one where I use my blood tap with my Frost Strike. So that way, if I'm ever whenever I'm building up my blood tap, I'm not having to waste my time stretching my hand across, just like the last one, right? It is out there, but it's a one less button I'm having to stretch for, right? So I find that works well, and a lot of DKs use that. So I would imagine that's just a average macro or whatever, but it works. So, and then I got my self-healing one. I'm not sure. I think this is the best. I got it. I don't know if I can get it any better, but how I got it set up is that I got my death siphons popping off first, so that way if you're ever dealing with ranged, that you're able to kind of heal yourself and then get yourself a little closer to do your death strikes to heal you even more if needed. I also got my anti-magic shell to go off with that, so that way when I heal, I'm not just getting the damage to take my HP away that I just healed back, right? So I use my AMS to pretty much shield me as I can kind of heal up as much as I can and then go at it, right, if I can. It's really good for survivability. Gave it to a couple of guys, but they haven't really gave me feedback on it because I don't think they've actually done it. But and lastly, I find there's a issue with this, the use health stone, because I think it's just because if you don't have any, it doesn't allow you to actually input it. So sometimes when I get lock rocks, I have to reset it, and it'll pretty much work until I log out again. So yeah, that's what I use. Here is an example of my healing macro. So say you are kind of getting kited or whatever, you're a little bit of distance away, right? You need to heal. They're striking you. So I go ahead, right? And then now I can't hit anymore. I gotta get a little closer, hit it a couple more times, heal myself. I find that this is great survivability. I've been able to last like 5 times longer than in fights than I've been able to before. You know, I don't know if my macros are causing a little bit of a DPS decrease. It's so minuscule that it's hard to tell. So I think I've done the best I could, and it worked. Just if you ever need to, just spam the healing and you're back on top, right? Well, alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this helped you out in any way. I still have a lot to learn as DKs, obviously. There's still things, little tricks, tips, and stuff like that. But if you guys do have any of those, you know, comment in the section below, and you know, I can make a video of it, or I can try it out myself and show you guys. You know, whatever you guys like to do. So yeah, that's it. If you guys like that, go ahead and subscribe and like, and yeah, you can even share me on Google+. So yeah, that's it. All right, guys, I'm out.